One of the biggest questions that many small businesses ask themselves when they're first starting out is, how will I make my products? It's probably one of those decisions that keeps us in analysis paralysis and prevents us from actually moving forward with our plans of turning our arts into products. In this video, I'm going to talk you through some of the things that you should probably consider and think about early on when trying to decide which route would be best for you to go with. Should you make your own products at home, or should you outsource it to a local print shop? We're definitely going to get into all of the pros and cons of both options in this video. If you're new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Nkem and I'm a lettering artist and designer, and I run my own design studio for the masses where I make and sell my own art prints, and those prints are made in-house in my own studio. Like you, I've definitely been there in those early days when deciding which option would be best, whether to outsource my print or print in my own studio. In my studio, I know that long-term printing my own goods in-house is the route that I would like to take, so a lot of the decisions that I've been making have been aligning with that decision. However, when you're first starting out, that decision might not come so easily for you. There are definitely things that you need to consider, such as the cost of setup, the cost of a printer. Do you need a scanner? Do you have the space to house this printer that you need to make said products, and other things like that. In the early days, deciding on which gadgets to buy can be a barrier of entry, and we definitely don't want that. We want to go with the path of least resistance so that you can get the ball rolling and start churning your art into physical products for your intended clients and consumers. Before we get into the pros and cons of each option, I want to make it clear that whatever may be right for me may not necessarily be right for you. And what you really need to consider is what would be best for your business, and think about what it is that you're trying to build here. As I mentioned earlier, I currently sell my own art prints, and these prints are made right here in my own home studio using the Canon IP8720 printer, and they are printed on the 60-pound polar matte paper from Red River Paper. I absolutely love this printer and the quality of prints that I get from it, and I absolutely love the paper quality from Red River as well. The biggest highlight of making my own prints in-house is I have the ability to control my inventory and make items on the fly. If there's a new design that I quickly thought of, I don't have to wait on the downtime of outsourcing to a local print shop to wait for them to get the file, upload the file, make the prints, drive over there to pick them up, and then bring them back home before I can take photos and load them up to my website. This whole process is streamlined because I have my printer here in the studio, and I can make my own designs whenever I want to, and I can control the inventory of products that are available in my print shop. So for me, those three factors are a big deal. I get to control the quality of my prints, I get to control the volume of inventory that I have, and there is no downtime of waiting on someone else to produce my goods for me. If you do decide that making your own products in your own home studio is the best route that you want to take, I do highly recommend that you do thorough research on what type of printer that you will be purchasing. This is why I mentioned earlier that understanding the needs of your business is very important early on, because as I just mentioned, that I made the mistake of purchasing a printer that does not fully fulfill all of the needs of my business. Though I absolutely love the quality of the prints that I get from my printer, I'm limited on the types of products that I can make on that printer because I was not aware of the paper weight limits that the printer has. I can't make certain types of prints using that printer, and I'm limited on the types of paper that will successfully print using my printer. So as an alternative, I either now have to upgrade the printer that I currently have or purchase a whole new printer, which is an added cost to my business. So some drawbacks of making your own prints on your own is that you are now solely responsible of the quality of your prints and the quality of your goods. This can be time consuming because you have to split your time between designing your products and also making sure that there's enough time to actually print and make these products for you to sell to others. There's also added cost that comes with upkeeping your printer, such as buying inks, which depending on the type of printer can be extremely expensive. The quality of paper that you get, that's another additional cost because you need some type of paper to print your goods on. There's also maintenance for your printer. If something goes wrong or you're troubleshooting and you just don't know what the issue is, that again is taking away time from you being able to make art and make the things that you want to do. Another thing to consider is the time that it takes to test out your prints. If this is a new printer and something that you're not familiar with, there might be a little bit of a learning curve to get successful high quality prints out of your printer. You also have to consider the loss of inventory and the loss of supplies from mistakes and misprints. I know in the early days when I first got my printer, there was a learning curve that occurred when trying to make sure that my artwork was properly set up in Illustrator so that when I printed, I would get the right proportions and the right placement of my prints on the paper. So because there was a lot of trial and error, this was money that was lost due to loss of inventory, loss of time, and loss of supplies. In my opinion, the biggest drawbacks of making your own prints or making your own products in-house is there's a limit of the volume of products that you can make. You probably don't have the time to make 100, 200, 300, or how many hundreds of items on your own, because that is a lot of time that will take away from you actually making your art. Overall, just consider and think about what the needs of your business, how much you're trying to scale, and whether or not you have the time and energy to put into making your own goods, or whether this would be better served outsourcing and having someone else take care of that. Now, in the past, I have outsourced my printing needs to a local print shop for greeting cards and things like that. So the great thing of outsourcing to someone else is that really the only thing you need to focus on is making your designs. That's it. Which honestly, in those early days, that might be exactly what it is that you need. Just focus on one thing at a time and then build from there and add things or take away things depending on what your business needs are. It's great to be able to automate the whole printing process, and it's just one less thing for you to think about. Another great thing is like all of the supplies and all of the inks and all of those additional resources are taken care of by the print shop. There's no need for you to worry about additional space, additional storage, keeping inventory, and making sure that you have things on stock ready for you to use when it comes to time for you to print your goods. All of these additional resources are taken care of from the print shop, so this could mean less money that you have to invest in your business in order to get it up and running. And of course, as we talked about with resources, when it comes to test prints and misprints and things like that, all of those things are taken care of by the print shop depending on the type of print shop that you use, and it may not be an additional cost for you. So depending on how the print shop operates, you may be able to get away with doing multiple test prints to make sure that the final version of your product will be exactly as you want it to be. It's going to meet your specifications, the color looks great, the paper looks great, and all you need to do is just pay for your purchase and just be done with it. Now on the flip side, the downside of outsourcing to a print shop is that there is a waiting period. You have to wait to go over there, pick up your prints, come home, and this could be just something that you're not able to work within your schedule. Another con of outsourcing your prints is that sometimes things just don't come out right. Even if you do have test prints, there might be some slight errors or just some mistakes that occur, and these are things that you've already paid for. So making sure that you've done your research to find a print shop that will definitely suit your need and have great customer service is going to be essential for this process to be beneficial for you. Another slight drawback is that you're limited on the types of paper and resources that the print shop has available. Now, like as I mentioned, I get my paper from Red River Paper, and I really love their quality of paper that they have. However, if I was to provide my own paper to a local print shop, it may actually end up costing me more to print my goods, because typically when you go to a print shop and they make your prints, they print them on these large sheets of paper to cut down on how much waste goes in. So if your if you're providing your own paper, you're probably giving them like a 13 by 19 or just a sheet of paper that's not as big as what they would use. So you're using more resources and it's costing you more to provide your own paper versus having them use their own resources. So depending on the type of print shop, they might not have certain paper qualities that you're looking for, or they just might have limited options on paper choices. So that's something that you might want to consider as well when deciding whether to outsource or print on your own. Both options are great depending on which stage of your business you're at. If you're getting hundreds of orders a week and making your own prints or making your own goods in your studio will take up time from designing products and doing all of those things that only you can do, then outsourcing will be a great option. If you're just starting out and learning the ropes and trying to figure things out, and you have the time, energy, and resources and space to invest in getting your own printers and getting the things that you need to get the ball rolling, then definitely consider buying your own printers and buying your own supplies and starting in-house, because like I said, you get to control the inventory and you get to test things out, see how they work, and then either up your volume or decide whether or not you want to outsource or continue making your prints at home. Another great option, which is what I will be doing, as a combination of both. You can have certain things that you print on your own, and you can have certain items that you outsource to someone else. This gives you basically the best of both worlds. You get to explore what it's like to outsource your prints, and you get to explore what it's like to do it on your own. Whichever option you do choose, just make sure that you pick the path with the least resistance and the option that makes the best choice for whatever stage you're at in your business. I'm getting prepped for my first craft fair in the next couple of months, and will be planning on adding greeting cards to my current collection. So outsourcing my printing needs to a local print shop is the route that I'm going to take with making my greeting cards. If you're interested in seeing my studio vlog about this, just make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can keep up to date with what's going on in the studio, and you can see how this whole process unfolds. I'll be sharing how the design process went, letting you know how the printing process went, and of course you'll see the final results of the quality of greeting cards that I get from my local print shop. If you have any questions about the pros and cons of printing on your own or outsourcing to a print shop that I didn't cover in this video, please definitely leave a comment below and I will reply to every single question that I receive. In the meanwhile, check out this video next to see how I'm building income streams to become a full-time artist and the steps that I'm taking to make this dream a possibility. Till then, I'll catch you in the next video. Take care and stay blessed. Bye.